Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. And if you came late and you didn't see what we put in the chat, please write if you're a former student, your class year, if you're a parent, a former parent, a Titan parent or a former Titan parent, if you're a community member, please drop that in the chat. Welcome to the official Gadsden City High School Alumni Association launch party. Thank you so much again for joining us tonight. We're very excited to have you all here. I'm Raven Doremus Byers. I'm a class of 2012 Gadsden City High School graduate, and currently I work in education and policy. I'm a policy analyst and a researcher in Washington, D.C., and I'm a leader of the GCHS Alumni Association Task Force. I think you're muted, Alethea.
Muted. Y'all, we've been doing this for a year and a half. My name is Alethea Russell. I'm a class of 2011 Gadsden City graduate, and I'm currently a doctoral student. I study higher education and student affairs at Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana. I also serve as a leader of the Alumni Association's task force. Raven and I began working on this project together this summer with hopes of collaborating on really a smaller project. And as both of our classes were approaching our 10-year reunions, we really just thought about, we wanted something that was bigger than just one individual class. And so that's actually what brought us to today, to having a full alumni association in the works. And so we wanted this to really just mirror that we're one Gadsden City High. And so this summer we assembled an amazing team of Gadsden City alumni who we have here tonight. And we have been enjoying them helping us lay the groundwork for this association. So we'll actually give them some time now to introduce themselves.
Thanks, Alethea. I'm Dr. Chelsea Amerson, formerly known as Dr. Chelsea James. I'm a class of 2012 Gadsden City High School graduate, and I'm a pharmacist at Quality of Life Health Services Incorporated at the Heflin location. Currently on the Alumni Task Force, I focus on community outreach.
I'm Casey Langley, a 2011 Gadsden City graduate, and I am a social media marketing specialist at the University of South Alabama. Currently on the Alumni Task Force, I focus on social media and public relations.
And I'm Carl J. Byers, a class of 2011 GCHS graduate, and I run a media production company by the name of Mach 5 Productions. On the Alumni Task Force, I focus on visual media and production.
Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Caitlin Jones. I'm a class of 2008 graduate, and currently on the task force, I focus on alumni alumni engagement, and I'm currently a pharmacist here at the Lee Health Hospital Systems in Florida.
Good evening. I'm Shanika Thomas, and I'm a class of 2011 Gadsden City graduate, and I currently work as a speech language pathologist in the state of Alabama, and my focus on the task force is operations and logistics.
Thank y'all, team. So now we'll start by giving everybody a little bit more background about what the association is and what we're taking on this year. And we know that people have questions and everything. So as we go, I just want to direct your attention to the Q&A feature in the bottom right corner of your screen. If at any point you have a question, please drop them in the Q&A box. And then in a few minutes at the end, we'll be taking some time to answer those questions. So to begin, the mission of the GCHS Alumni Association is to build an alumni community that encourages Titans to bridge their dreams from one home to another. Our vision as this association is to foster a spirit of service that allows us to generate resources, mentorship, and partnerships that connect former and current champions. The Alumni Association's #1 purpose is to ensure equitable access to a high quality and safe education for all GCHS students. So while we work with community members, parents, city leaders, and other organizations, our service is first and foremost to Gadsden City High School students and alumni.
So to give you guys a little bit of backstory on how this timeline was created, the association was founded on the question of what would Gadsden look like if we had a body of educated young professionals who made a concerted effort to give back. And so all of our initiatives then seek to create a Gadsden that attracts Gadsden City alumni to come home, encourages them to invest their time and their talents into other Gadsden City students. And in doing so, we create opportunities for not just ourselves, but for the community and for those students, and really create this cycle of investing resources into Gadsden's youth, which ultimately invests resources into Gadsden's future, no matter where we call home. So as y'all notice, most of us are not even in Alabama anymore, but this was super important to us. And so during this 2021 and 2022 school year, we have 5 main goals. First up is really data collection. And so we want to know more about you guys. We want to know more about the students, about their families, and our alumni, of course, and get a glimpse of what your needs and what your interests are in an association. And we've already started this. We've already been getting some feedback from different people, taking our surveys. And so we do have 3 different sets of initial surveys for you guys. We have one that's dedicated to just our students. We have one that goes to our parents and guardians. And then we also have our alumni survey. So whichever one of those categories you fall in, take the 5 minutes it takes to take those surveys and let us know how you're feeling, what you've been up to, and what you would like to see from us here in the association. You can find these surveys linked in all of our social media accounts and on our website, but we'll also drop them in the chat for you here. Feel free to share this with a friend because your responses to these helps us to reach our other goals. So the next thing is building our network. Our network is really important because we want to know where Titans go and what they do. And the more we know, the more we can do for you. And so this includes offering alumni different service opportunities, creating student internships, and our mentoring program. And it also gives us an opportunity to build an alumni directory. And eventually what we hope to see is a fully functioning alumni council that has representatives from each class. And that ultimately starts with that data. So our next thing is, of course, programming, right? And we want to be able to tap into some events and things like that. So think about college and career fairs for our students. Think about having alumni meetups and alumni mixers, having parent and student open houses. And the thing I'm actually most excited about is our speaker series that we're going to launch. It's called Titan Talks. It's modeled after TED Talks. So if you love TED Talks like I do, this is going to be a great opportunity to get some hands-on testimonials from our alumni. And most importantly, our long-term goal and the main reason that we even came together was centered around scholarships. And so our long-term goal is to launch scholarship endowments at every public university in the state of Alabama, beginning with the University of Alabama and Auburn University. And so we'll actually ask 2 of our colleagues, Shanika Thomas and CJ Byers, to give you guys a little bit more details about the endowments we already have set up.
Thank you, Raven and Alethea. As our first major initiative of the Alumni Association, we've established the GCHS Emerging Leader Scholarship Endowment. Scholarship endowment. And this scholarship endowment serves as a symbol of our community's commitment to broaden the legacy of GCHS alum, the forward progression of the Gadsden City alum, and the indefinite potential of our graduates. And as mentioned before, the association's overall mission is to establish the Emerging Leader Scholarship at every public university in the state of Alabama. So thanks to their enthusiasm, For partnering with us, we have been able to establish endowment contracts with both the University of Alabama and Auburn University.
So our first goal is to raise $50,000 over the next 5 years to establish the scholarship endowments at each, or to establish $25,000 scholarship endowments at each institution by 2026. Once these endowments are established, any Gadsden City graduate in good academic standing who demonstrates financial need will be able to apply for this $1,000 scholarship. Financial need and good academic standing will be determined by each institution. This will be a one-time scholarship, meaning that $1,000 will go to a new graduate each year. Now, although $50,000 is our first goal for this endowment, our work won't stop there. Your work won't stop there. Our hope, again, is to endow multiple scholarships across the state of Alabama for GCHS graduates. Therefore, the amount of opportunity we have to offer our students depends on the amount of money we are able to continually raise each year together as a community. So for the Alabama and Auburn scholarships in particular, there are many ways to contribute. First, you will find on our website and social media pages the links to donate directly to each scholarship through their secured platforms. There, you can make one-time donations or recurring donations. An automatic recurring donation is one of the easiest ways to contribute. On your screen, you'll see 2 QR codes. You can point your phone camera at either of these, and it will take you to the corresponding scholarship page. We'll also drop the links in the chat for you, or I think we've already dropped those actually. For our Alabama scholarship, we receive match funds from tag sales, so consider purchasing University of Alabama collegiate tag at your local DMV if you can. Also, be sure to check with your employers to see if they have donation match programs to maximize your donation. And of course, all donations made through Alabama and Auburn sites are tax deductible to the extent allowed by the law.
So overall, our goal is to support GCHS students and provide each of them with an opportunity to reach higher than they could have imagined once they leave Titan Parkway for the last time. We have 4 alumni here today who've done just that and are actively working to inspire Titans every day in various ways. So our task force member, Dr. Caitlin Jones, will introduce them.
Thanks, Shanika and CJ. First, we have for you Ms. Grace Sekaya, a class of 2018 graduate. During her time there, she served as a Titan ambassador, senior class secretary, a volleyball team member, and many more. Currently, she attends the University of South Alabama, where she majors in international studies with a minor in chemistry and a concentration in global health. She is set to graduate May of 2022 with her BA as she pursued her goal of medical school. Please let us all welcome Ms. Casey Rickles.
Thank you for having me and also putting on a super wonderful event like this. I just wanted to take a moment to describe what an alumni association means to me on a collegiate level and the huge impact it can make for the Gadsden community overall. And so during my time here at University of South Alabama, I've been super fortunate enough to be involved in like many organizations like USA Southerners. And so it's kind of fashioned like the Titan ambassadors. We serve as the official ambassadors for our school and also work closely with the president's office and alumni association. And so my experience with this group for the past 3 years has actually taught me a super valuable life lesson. Going into college as a first-gen student was super scary, but one of the first pieces of lessons that I learned was the power of social capital. There are always people who have resources that can take you into places you may have never imagined to be in, and that doesn't necessarily come from seeking out those relationships just for opportunity, but actually having the opportunity to build support and a network so you're actually able to succeed. And so connecting with alumni is a great way to do just that. I also wanted to take a minute to encourage you to invest in the future of Gadsden, and investing can look like a variety of things. I know for certain that this association would not just help students get to college, but remain in college. Pursuing a higher education is a powerful thing, and every day I am convinced that it takes a village, and our students actually need individuals like you to be included in that village. Your support may mean becoming a mentor who holds students accountable, because I am who I am through amazing advice and support from individuals at South who decided to pour into me. Your support may also mean to give financially. I mentioned that I was a first generation student earlier, and with that journey, I actually have the responsibility of paying for my school without my parents' help. I'm set to graduate next May, and I'm super excited to announce that I'll be graduating debt-free. And so many may ask, how does that happen? Amazing alumni. A large portion of my school fees have been covered by scholarships that an alumni constantly donate to here at USA. And so minimizing financial burdens for our students at Gadsden City gives them an opportunity to dream. When students are able to dream without limits, the community does change for the better as they desire to give back what has been given to them. My hope is that you realize that the seed you plant by partnering with the association will give way to a Gadsden that can flourish for the better. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Ms. Grace. Now we will hear from our second alumni speaker, Ms. Casey Rickles. Ms. Casey is a class of 2020 GCHS graduate and currently studies political science and international studies at Auburn University. At Gadsden City High School, Casey was salutatorian of her class, captain of the Titan Dance Line, SGA secretary, and many more. At Auburn, Casey is one of 4 senators for the College of Liberal Arts within the Student Government Association, a member of SGA Lobby Board, and a member of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. Casey is also proud to have interned for Congressman Robert Aderholt in Washington, D.C., and the Business Council of Alabama in Montgomery, Alabama. This past summer, please let us all welcome Ms. Casey Rickles.
Hello, everyone. My name is Casey Rickles, and I'm a member of the memorable class of 2020. I am pleased to speak to all of you today because the idea behind the creation of the Gadsden City High School Alumni Association is something all too valuable to me. Growing up in Gadsden, Alabama was something that I truthfully never fully appreciated until I left. The people of Gadsden are diverse, interesting, full of joy and compassion, and strive to help their fellow neighbor. Since I've left and spent time living in different cities over the past year, I truly understood the beauty behind the place that I get to call home. From a young age, I learned that when I set my mind up for something, there was a good chance that I would get it. I worked incredibly hard at everything I did, and I never looked back. What people never knew about me in high school is that the home I grew up in was not the healthiest environment. At the age of 17, my parents went through a difficult divorce, and my life was completely distorted within days. The 3-story house I had grown up in on the river with a pool and a boat quickly turned into limited financial resources and living in my grandparents' basement. I fought to pay for every ACT class, make an A in all of my studies, and later became Gadsden City's Class of 2020 salutatorian. With numerous scholarships, a full ride to Auburn, and financial aid, I am now able to attend Auburn University. I've become the only female senator for the College of Liberal Arts and serve on the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, where I have pushed for students applying to Auburn to have equitable scholarships regarding their socioeconomic background and class. I found a way to pay for an internship on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., and I stayed in a friend's home to intern in Montgomery, Alabama with the Business Council of Alabama. While it has been an uphill battle for me in making sure that I am financially stable while pushing my education to further heights, I cannot help to think about the students within my class who did not have the resources I had to be able to pay for ACT classes, apply to the school of their dreams, and have a living environment that pushed them to follow their dreams. Although my story has a happy ending, there have been thousands of Gadsden City High School graduates who had the capabilities that I had to make something great of themselves, but were within an inch away from being able to financially provide for themselves. So I propose a question to you all. What are we doing today to give every student the peace of knowing that what they want to do in life is achievable? Are we encouraging them to apply to schools that could set them apart, or are we telling them to do what is safe? Are we praising a student whose parents are doctors and has a 35 on their ACT? Or are we helping a smart kid from a lower class family get the resources to make the best of their education? Are we actively helping the future by what we are doing today? Gandhi once said, "A man is but the product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes." From my time in education at Gadsden City, I have become a product of my thoughts, infatuated with all the different facets of my mind. What I was educated, I thought, and what I thought, I became. Future generations deserve the opportunity to further the great education that Gadsden City has given them. Regardless of your religious background, I want to leave you all with one of my favorite quotes. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Gadsden City alumni, I challenge you to accept the lives you cannot change, have courage to change the lives that you can, and have the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Casey, for those encouraging words. Now I'll introduce our third alumni speaker. Ms. Fernanda Herrera Spieler is a GCH class of 2013 graduate. While at Gadsden City, Ms. Fernanda was a student ambassador, flute section leader in the marching band, and second chair flute in the symphonic band, all while working at her parents' restaurant. She graduated from Stanford University in 2017, later working with the Alabama Coalition for Immigrant Justice Organization, Youth, to fight for the reinstatement of deferred action for childhood arrivals, also known as DACA. She attended Loyola University Chicago School of Law. She now lives in Nashville with her husband and works at a Resilience Force as an Equal Justice Works Fellow sponsored by the Text to Give campaign. Please let us all welcome Ms. Fernanda Herrera Spieler.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for putting this together. It's really inspiring to get to see fellow alum and see where all life has taken us. Also, it was really great hearing the fight song. I'd only ever been on the playing side of it, so getting to hear all of it come together was really nice. So yeah, I graduated in 2013. I was in the band, was a Titan ambassador, and took AP classes. But kind of similarly to Casey, I had a secret that kept me from being my full self while I was on campus. I was undocumented and I wanted to go to college, but I didn't have a social security number to complete my applications and get admitted despite having good grades and a good ACT score. I was scared and I saw the future I envisioned for myself get further and further away from me. Luckily though, I had a couple of teachers I could rely on and who helped me in my darkest moments. When I found out that my family was in removal proceedings with immigration, a teacher helped me find a lawyer. When the harshest anti-immigrant law, HB 56, passed in the Alabama House of Representatives when I was a junior in high school, and it became a crime to even drive someone who was undocumented to church, another teacher offered to adopt me. There were no counselors who knew what direction to steer me, and I had no access to resources to help me with the difficult issues I've been facing during my young life. I did have a few teachers I could trust who didn't see the issues my family and I had as political issues, but as the issues of a beloved student. I was able to connect with a couple of teachers who helped, write letters of recommendation. And I eventually only was able to go to private school because I just remember the really heartbreaking moment of going to Alabama. It was a state school and them telling me, hey, if it was based on your grades, we would love to admit you, but you don't have a social security number and I can't help you. I remember crying on the elevator with my mom, just saying okay, well then I guess I don't get to go to college. And eventually I was able to do some research on my own and find out that I could go to private schools. By then though, it was kind of coming to the end. I was admitted to the DACA program and got a social security number the day before my college application was due. My first day of college, I missed class because my parents had to go to immigration court and find out if they were going to get deported or not. So yeah, it was just a moment of just severe anxiety and PTSD and all of this of not knowing where my future was going to take me. So yeah, needless to say, I went on to college. I became a leader on campus, founded the first Latino student organization on campus, and participated in the SGA, started advocating for other students like myself, and just started kind of learning that I did have a voice and helping others learn that they also had a voice and could amplify it to kind of be known as who we are, people just like everyone else, just, without a social security number, or parents who don't have them and are still parts of the community. My parents own a restaurant in Pell City, Alabama. They're still here fighting along despite everything. And so, yeah, while I was in college, I was in a research program and met other young folks who, like me, had also been undocumented in high school and had a lot of the same issues I'd had. There wasn't anyone who could guide them in the counselor's office, but they all had teachers they could trust, like me. We all struggled with anxiety and PTSD from not knowing if our parents would come back home or be taken by ICE. Because of this, I want to commit to creating bridges between Gadsden City High School and community resources that can help undocumented students, DACA recipients, minority students, and first-generation students navigate the treacherous waters between high school and college or a career path of their choice. Alumni funding and mentoring is a pivotal resource for students who do not have the resources within their home and families. So I ask those that are watching to commit to a donation to the Alumni Association so that various issues we all encountered can be addressed, and our teachers can continue to have the resources to encourage, support, and enlighten our students so that they may go on to do great things beyond high school and become the pride of Gadsden City High School and the Gadsden community. I've since left Gadsden, and like it was mentioned, I live in Nashville, where I live with my husband and work with Resilience Force as a legal fellow, serving immigrant workers who rebuild after natural disasters. And I think that, the next president of the United States could be walking Gadsden City's halls, or I guess Zoom rooms now. And, without the resources, we wouldn't, be able to tap into that potential. And so we need folks who can give those resources to these people so that, I think when I was in Gadsden, there were 36,000 people in Gadsden. And I don't know if that population has grown now, but, I think that we have a lot of passion in our school and in our city. And I think a lot of, my fellow classmates have gone on to do amazing things, but we all keep leaving Gadsden, right? And so being able to kind of give back to the place that gave us so much, it means a lot to me. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Fernanda, for those encouraging words and remarks. And now, last but not least, we have our fourth speaker, Mr. Dre Kirkpatrick. Mr. DeAndre Kirkpatrick is a class of 2009 GCHS graduate, where he earned ratings among the elite college cornerback prospects in the nation. He earned All-American honors from Parade, USA Today, and Super Prep. He attended the University of Alabama, majored in general studies until he was selected by the Cincinnati Bengals in the first round of the 2012 NFL draft pick. In addition to being a Titan parent, Mr. Kirkpatrick is also a philanthropist. His childhood experience and faith inspired him to establish the 21 Kids Foundation in 2013 to impact the lives of disadvantaged youth in our hometown of Gadsden. Mr. Kirkpatrick could not be here in person due to his schedule with the San Francisco 49ers, but he did record a few remarks for you all.
What's going on, Gadsden City? Today I want to take a little time out to, just talk about my journey, my transition, from a kid to an adult, and being a family man and being a great father to my kids, and being a leader of my household, and loving my beautiful family, my mom, my dad, my sisters. Friendship, I think that's very important. I want to start off today by talking about my time at Gadsden City. Gadsden City was, kind of new. We were just transitioning, and we were just opening up around my 10th grade year. And when I got there, I made friends that I never thought I would make. I made lifetime friends that I never thought I'd make because, at some point Gadsden was segregated where, people kind of stayed to their own side of town, So I feel like the power in Gadsden City and the power of community in those 3 high schools, Gadsden High, Litchfield, Emma Sampson, was very important for the community. It was very important, for my kids, because my son has friends that if things would have been left, the same, I feel like he was kind of falling into the same trend that's always been trending there. But when I got to Gadsden City, my focus point was, how can I succeed? How can I take advantage of the opportunities that I have at Gadsden City? And Gadsden City provided me multiple resources, great avenues, different career paths, but I chose to play football. And I think I did all right in it. It's helped me. It's something that I was always passionate about, always motivated me to be the best. And I didn't do it by myself. It was nothing that, I can be selfish and say, nobody gave me credit, or nobody did anything for me, where, I had great inspiration, great people around me, great team, great teachers, to be there for me. Guys like Coach Smith, who's, I always call him, he's like an uncle to me. He's somebody that I truly, truly love, truly believe in. I put a lot of belief in him. I put my life in his hands, and he carried the torch for me, and he guided me and he molded me, and pretty much into the person that I am today, outside of my immediate family. But he wasn't just the only one. There's other people. I really don't like to do a lot of name calling because I don't want nobody to feel like I left them out. But Miss Charlotte Worthy is one of the persons too that, used to sit down and talk to me and, just try to educate me on the bigger picture, because, having success at a young age, you tend to get lost. And, she was one of the ones that, kind of always tried to keep me normal, try to bring me back down to earth. And for that, I was always humble. And, making that jump into college, I felt like it was very challenging, going to a place I didn't know nobody. I had to make all friends all over again. Just going and being around Coach Saban, who's to me is one of the, who is the best coach of all time, and him challenging me every day, him, trying to get me out of my old ways and let me know, like, hey, your success in high school only was for high school. Now you have a new chapter in your life. Now you have a new path. And I stepped up to the plate with the help of a lot of different people. The one that comes to mind who helped me the most transition when I was in college, I would say, is Miss Ashley Kimball. She was like our mom. She was the lady that always made sure I did everything right, made sure that I was always on time, made sure I kind of knew the lay of the land. She's a hometown lady from Gadsden, and and well respected. So I made sure I leaned on her a lot. And from there, it was the transition and going to the NFL. And I couldn't be where I'm at if I didn't have the support of Gadsden City. Gadsden, they never forgot me, and I always try not to forget them, and I will never forget them. The fans, my family, my friends, my community always rallied around me when I needed them most. And, no matter how big I got, no matter, amount of success that I accomplished, I always made sure that I put my hometown first, and I tried to make sure I put my hometown on the map. And, look at me now. Here I am today, playing for the San Francisco 49ers. Who would have thought that I'd be lasting in the NFL for 10 years, still playing this game at a high level, still being able to provide for my family, and still being able to be a role model in my community. And those are the things that I wrote down. Those were the goals that I wrote down. Those are the things that I strive to do. And, anything's possible. No matter what situation anyone's in, if you put your mind to it, you can do it. And that's what I did. I put my mind to it. I did it. I strive for it. Needed help along the way. And, because I don't want you to think that I just did it all on my own. I'm constantly keep saying that I had help. I had great resources around me. And yeah, man, I think my journey's has been good, but it's just getting started. I'm transitioning into a grown man. I'm transitioning into not playing any games. I have a lot of things that I still want to do in my community, and the future's still bright. And, I just want to tell my story real fast. Thank you.
Thank you, so much, Mr. Dre Kirkpatrick, and all of our speakers for sharing such inspiring and motivating words today. I hope the experience they share helped you all to see how vital it is for us, the Gadsden community, to invest in students of our city. As each of our speakers showed, with our unified support and resources, our students can do anything. Thank you all again so much. Now we will invite Ms. Heather Brothers New, the Etowah Chamber of Commerce president, to offer some closing remarks.
Hey guys, I hope you can hear me. I'm just beyond humbled that I would even be asked for this opportunity. So in 2007, my son and I became a single mom. My son and I moved back to the Gadsden community. And we, I didn't have a job. I didn't have a home. I didn't know what my direction was, but we began, looking around to where we were going to land. And when I looked at Gadsden City High School back in 2007, I knew that's where I wanted my child to be. I knew he would find his people. I knew he would find incredible opportunity. And I'm going to tell you, in 2007, I never imagined that I'd be sitting here 2021 and I'd be watching some of you I watched grow up with JDs after your name and PhD after your name. And I don't even know why you would want me here, because you've achieved so much more than I could have ever imagined, so much more than I could have ever planned for even myself. I chose Gadsden City High because I saw the potential. I saw you. I saw a diverse community that had so much to offer, that was going to succeed in the world, that was going to invest in the world, and that was going to make Gadsden be even better. And I'm just in awe. I don't even know if there are words to explain how incredibly impressed and proud and just appreciative. 2020 was an incredibly difficult year, but what we saw was people step up to a challenge that we'd never experienced, we'd never known possible. I have watched the leadership of Gadsden shift in a very, very exciting way. You all, you have been here, you have been investing and now you're taking that step forward. You are challenging the status quo. You are challenging what has always been, and you're taking your seat at the table. And I want to encourage you to keep doing it. Keep pushing, keep making your mark, because you are making the future better. I'm going to commit tonight, and I hope everyone on this call that's listening will commit tonight. You have my personal investment, my financial investment, my emotional investment. You are going to give the next generation that step up that you know they need. I know they need. And I want to tell you, I appreciate each and every one of you. I want to tell you that I'm in lockstep with you, and you're amazing. You're amazing. What you're doing tonight is everything I've ever dreamed of. So let's go get it. Let's go forward. Let's go make sure there is no student that ever has to sit at home on their bed and cry and wonder, am I going to get to go to college? Am I going to get to do all the things I want to do? Let's make sure together. I'm with you. Let's do it. We're going to go find more people. And y'all, you've blown my mind. You've melted my heart. You've inspired me. My heart is so full. My heart is so full. There's so many of you that have spoken to me over the years that we've never even actually met, but I've watched your journey. Keep going, keep doing it, keep pushing, because you're the only person that's going to change it. You are it. I love each and every one of you. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this opportunity, but more so than that, I'm so grateful for each one of you. You've figured it out, and now you're going to figure it out for the next generation too. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate this so much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much to all of you for joining us today to hear about the Alumni Association. We are so grateful for your participation and just so grateful for the opportunity to reach the community, just like Heather said. As mentioned before, we have some very exciting opportunities coming up. First, we will be launching our Alumni Ambassadors Program, an opportunity for alumni to help host our events and participate in our programs. We will also be offering student internships for Gadsden City High School juniors and seniors. To receive information about these programs, please fill out the surveys at the link shown in the chat, and please also subscribe to our newsletter on our website, www.gchsalumniassociation.org. This way, you can stay up to date on requirements and upcoming deadlines. On our website, you will also find information about how you can donate to our scholarships at Auburn and Alabama. Links to the scholarships are also available in the chat, and we encourage you to give today and share these links with others.
In addition to donating electronically, you can also mail donation checks to Alabama and Auburn. This information is also available on our website. The schools respectfully ask that you do not send cash, as this is not secure by mail. For Alabama, make your check out to Alumni Fund with GCHS Alumni Emerging Leaders Scholarship in the memo line. Mail to National Alumni Association, the University of Alabama, P.O. Box 861-928, Tuscaloosa, Alabama 35486. For Auburn, make your checks out to Auburn University Foundation with Gadsden City High School Alumni Emerging Leaders Endowed Scholarship Fund in the memo line. Mail to Annual Fund Attention Gift Processing 317 South College Street, Auburn, Alabama 36849. You may also call to make your donations. For Alabama, call 205-348-7398. For Auburn, call 334-844-1445. And on behalf of the entire Alumni Association, we want to thank Quality of Life Health Services Incorporated for getting the ball rolling and for contributing to our scholarship. We'll also be selling alumni merchandise on our website produced by Michaela Byers, a 2019 Gadsden City High School graduate. A portion of the proceeds for merchandise sales will go to scholarships as well. Here's a preview of that collection. We've got some crew necks and t-shirts right in time for fall. Finally, keep in touch. Follow us on our Instagram at Gadsden City High School Alumni Association, GCHS Alumni Association, on Facebook as Gadsden City High School Alumni Association, and you can also email us at gchsalumni06@gmail.com. We'll now have our Q&A. If you would like to stay and ask questions, you are more than welcome to. Everyone else, feel free to log off now. Thank you for coming, and we look forward to connecting with you in the future.
Thank you so much, everybody, for your participation. Thank you for engaging with us in the chat and the speakers. And this was just so exciting for us. It feels so good to hear that so many people are ready to jump into this work with us. I think when we started this, it felt overwhelming because it's a huge task and it's such a small amount of us. But then immediately when we started telling people about this idea, they were all on board. And so I'm really excited, and we're here to answer any questions that you have so that you can spread the word to everybody else as well. We don't want any confusion. And we also welcome, even after this conversations, we're happy to the extent possible, jump on calls with people and talk to them and connect and everything, because we want this association to be everybody's in Gadsden. So if you have questions, as we stated before, you can put them in the chat. You can also put them in the Q&A feature. Everybody should have their Q&A feature enabled. And then you'll also see that if a person asks a question that you want answered as well, you can upvote that and we'll prioritize those. We did have some questions to already come in before this event, and so we'll start with those. Shanika will moderate for us so we can make sure we keep everything straight.
Okay, we had a question that came through, and this question asks, will there be monthly meetings or updates on the association's progress and initiatives for the public?
So I can answer that one. We won't be having public monthly meetings or anything at this time, but we do encourage everybody to go to our website. And I think that link is shared in the chat. And there, when you scroll to the bottom of our site, on every page, you'll see that you can subscribe to our newsletter. That's where you're going to get information about any events and initiatives we have up. That's also where you'll see how you can get involved and serve. And then you'll see, you'll be able to track our progress there and everything as well. And you'll also be able to take our surveys and share those surveys with everybody else. And if you're interested in the alumni ambassadors, or if you're interested in being a student intern, you also should subscribe to that newsletter so you can get the information for that. We also will be launching our merchandise through that newsletter. So if you want to buy a cozy crew neck like we do for the fall, then sign up for that newsletter on our website.
Okay, another pre-submitted question was, does it cost money to be in the Alumni Association?
I can take that one. So no, it does not cost anything at this time. So right now, by right of you crossing that stage at Gadsden City High School, you are a member of this Alumni Association. In the future, we will have a paid membership that offers some more perks and benefits and voting privileges. As I mentioned earlier, we do aim to have an alumni council with different, with representation from every graduating class at Gadsden City. And so in order to have those voting privileges and those other perks and benefits similar to what you would receive at a larger alumni association. So maybe like, for example, how you get discounts and things like that. And like Auburn's Alumni Association or the University of Alabama or whatever institution you may have gone to. So that will come into fruition once we start having those partnerships founded. But at this time, there is no cost. Everyone is automatically a member of the Alumni Association. And then in the future, we'll have some paid membership opportunities.
Okay, I'm going to take a sidebar from the pre-submitted question because I actually do see one in the chat that asks, are there any parent forums that will be coming soon to be able to help with engagement and students and helping them with the college process?
Yes, I can answer that one. So one of our first two major events that we have coming up that are in the works is a college and career fair, and then also a parent forum to help parents navigate the application process, and then for parents to learn from former Titan parents how they were able to navigate their kids through the process, since experience can be the best teacher. So we're working with the counselors and faculty at Gadsden City High School to do that for you. But just bear with us and give us time, because we want to make sure we do it right the first time and make sure we have all the resources necessary. But you will be hearing from us on that on our newsletter, but then also we'll be spamming all of your socials and on our event page on our website with that information coming soon.
Okay. Another question that was submitted was, will there be city and state chapters of the Alumni Association?
So that is one of the things that we're hoping for, but that's very much depending on how many people get involved. We do recognize that there's a need for that though, because Gadsden City students are all around the place. So the more people that we're able to get involved and the more programming that we're able to do, then we definitely will think about making some of our initiatives more location specific.
Okay. And what type of programming will there be for members of the Alumni Association?
So Alethea, you can take this one because she had a really great idea that we're hoping to get kicked off sooner rather than later.
You talking about Titan Talks?
Well, I actually was talking about all class reunions.
Oh,
but
yeah.
No, you start with the Titan Talks, because that also is her idea. It's a great one.
I told you I'm a little biased with Titan Talks. I like TED Talks. So yes, programming for our alumni. So as I mentioned earlier, the thing that really brought Raven and I together was that class of 2011 was supposed to have its 10-year reunion this year, and 2012 is preparing to have theirs next year. And so something that we thought would be a great use of resources and a great community builder is all class reunion. I've seen schools across the state that are comparable in size to Gadsden City and kind of have the same kind of notoriety in their communities, have all class reunions and their successful reunions. And there's a lot of buy-in from the community, and I think it does two things, right? It alleviates the pressure off of, 3 people or 3 or 4 people who might have been elected in your senior year 10 years ago. It takes a little bit of pressure off of them planning an entire reunion for their class. And it also lends them some additional resources and things like that. And again, we want to bring everybody together so that you meet people across the classes, no matter how long ago it was that you graduated. And so the all class reunions are going to be a big deal when we get those off the ground. And we hope that everyone from all 15 years of Gadsden City is able to join us for the first one. So we can look forward to that. That's one of our first major goals, as well as to be able to host those all class reunions.
Okay. Another question asks, what will the association give back to the school, alumni, and the community?
So one of the most important things that we want the association to be is a service hub. In addition to our events, we also, which is why our surveys are important, we also want everybody in the community to be able to go to our website and see how they can volunteer. And then go out there in the community and do that stuff. So one of the things that we have coming up so far, in addition to the student internships, which is a way for students to get involved with us and give back. And then anybody who joins alumni ambassadors can also get involved there and host some of our events and programming. We also want to reach all of the schools in Gadsden. So whether that means, reading to early childhood students in the daycares and the elementary schools, or helping attend some of your events that you're having at your middle schools. If there are any community organizations, sororities, or fraternities who would like to partner with us on service opportunities, we're happy to do that as well. And if you, I know that there are 2 people on this call who run a Girl Scouts troop. If there's anything that you believe would be helpful for kids to see alumni, and anything you would like for us to do, feel free to email us or DM us on any of our social media and let us know. because we're interested in all of that. Another big program that we're trying to prepare for now is an alumni mentorship program for Gadsden City High School students. So that'll be Gadsden City High School students being paired up with an alumni or an alum, and getting some help with college and career pathways and navigating the career process and stuff like that. But that'll be more in the future.
And then I think, sorry, I just wanted to add to what Raven was saying, because to the point of like, what do we give back to the school and what do we give back to the community? I think it's important for us to just like note that we're here to be like a supplement, right? Like Gadsden City does a great job with what they have and things like that. So we really just act alongside them in different ways. So if you're a teacher on this call and you have a need, let us know, right? Or if you want to just take a few minutes to meet with myself or Raven or anyone on the team and tell us kind of like what things that might be helpful for you and your team. We've already met with 1 or 2 teachers over the course of the summer who've given us some guidance and some ideas and things like that really largely helped us make decisions about our programming for this first year. But we do want that feedback, and we really want to serve as like a supplement and as a bridge for kind of those areas where, you know, our teachers do a lot and they're doing a lot in a pandemic. So we want to be able to support them in that way by kind of being a supplement and being a bridge to the things that maybe they just don't have enough time in the day to do for their students.
Okay. We've had a question submitted to the chat that asks, how can other schools, i.e. HBCUs, get involved or have representatives for the scholarship foundations and or internships?
Yes, we've been waiting a long time for this question. So for context, everybody, we were able to get these scholarships at Auburn and Alabama because they had a very streamlined process they had a group of people already who already run their scholarships and everything. And then they sort of like, because we had a connection via Alethea, they sort of already were ready to like jump in with us, and they had the documents and everything. And they simply just said, you know, sign the paper. They asked us what we wanted. And we said that we wanted it to be need-based scholarships and everything like that. And then they sent it to us. So the key here, and this is why we needed an alumni association, is because it's those partnerships that build those opportunities for kids. So we just need an in at all of the schools in Alabama. So if you know somebody or can get us an in with somebody who works for scholarships at a certain institution, or if you know that there's a very strong alumni chapter of that institution in Gadsden, like A&M has a really strong alumni chapter, then those are really the necessities to keep something like this sustained. So just let us know, email us, and we'll jump on a call with whoever that we need to and all that good stuff, because we want to be raising money for lots of scholarships at one time. So I just want everybody to know that this isn't an exclusive endeavor. It's really just when the institution has interest, just reach out to us and build a connection and we'll get it going.
All right. I missed over a question and I do apologize, but this question asks, as young successful leaders, what Gadsden needs to change to recruit and retain talent, like young successful leaders?
I would like everybody on the call to chime in on this a little bit if y'all can, because I think it's different for every person.
Hey guys, Dr. Caitlin Jones here. To piggyback off of Ms. New's question, I think the biggest thing would be support. We need support from everybody. Each of us have our own little niche of communities that we reach out to, so we can all go back to our community and bring a person up and get that person to bring up another person. I think that'll allow us to grow as associated and spot out different people that look like us, and build other students up that don't look like us to be like us as a whole.
One thing I would say, and I think I felt it as a student maybe, but I noticed it more doing research. There are 3 important phases of a student's life, in any school, but especially in high school and college. And I feel like maybe that third stage is missing. So Gadsden and Gadsden City does a whole lot for students who are incoming freshmen. There's a lot of programming around them. There's a lot of getting them ready, starting in middle school, academic wise and extracurricular wise, especially with the football teams being combined now. So they feel welcome when they come to Gadsden City, I believe. There's a lot of programming sort of in the middle when kids are transitioning into figuring out what their career or college pathway should be. That's when you're getting a lot of your testing, you're talking to your teachers a lot, you're talking to your counselors more than you have before. And then you're just getting ready for graduation. And then it kind of feels like once people have at least said where they're going to go, or where they're not going to go, and they graduate, then it just kind of, that's it. And I think everybody on this call can agree maybe that they felt that way when graduation day was over. It kind of was just it, and it was up to you to come back and connect with people or not. But that third stage is really important because kids have a lot on their plate, especially diverse students who have a lot of financial issues and stuff and have to worry about how they're going to afford everything that comes with college, including transportation, everything. It's not easy for them to get back, and they don't have the mental capacity or bandwidth to figure out how to stay connected to their alumni community. So one thing that Gadsden can do is just figure out how to make things how to make that transition smoother and more welcoming for students back to Gadsden. So that includes, like, yes, your reunions and stuff like that, but then also even local businesses and restaurants can get involved with stuff like that. Like, I definitely will tell you, every Christmas that I came back for a break, I spent all my money at Jefferson's, and had they had, an alumni discount, I would have been back there all the time with all my alumni friends. But then also too, that's what we're here for. We're here for, if Gadsden City is interested in doing something, but they don't have the capacity to do it because they're worried about their current students, we're here for the former students. And we're interested in a partnership there too, just to make people feel welcome and get re-inspired and remember what it feels like to be at home, even when they leave for college or work.
Okay, this next question is, what do you want the Alumni Association to look like in the future?
So this is why it's, sorry I'm doing so much talking, but this is part of my work as strategies and stuff with Alethea. So this is why it's important for any alumni who are interested in any of our initiatives to join now and to get involved in stuff now, because eventually we hope to have elections for an alumni council, which the way we see it now will be each class will be able to elect 2 representatives from their class. And then those people will then come together and convene with us and help make democratic decisions for our programming and initiatives in the future. And the reason that we need that is because there are several different populations at GCHS that are not represented as this task force stands right now. And we want to make sure that we're being as equitable as possible. And so the best way to set yourself up for that kind of work now is to just shadow us and join us and join our work and get to know what we're doing and learn it for yourself and just figure out where your niche is, and then build those connections with community members and with your classmates and get them involved in this work too. And so then when it is time to do elections and stuff like that, you will be prepared to then stand up and say, I'm ready to represent my class. I have ideas for these initiatives. I'm ready to do the work. That'll be our first big step, I think. And then from there, it really just, it depends on how many resources we get from our community. The more that we're able to do and the more that we get, which will mean that there will be more responsibility. So we'll just have to cross that bridge when we get to it. But our alumni council is our number one thing that we want to do.
I want to echo in the words of like CJ Byers, who's our like most recent addition to the task force, even though he's been here since this summer. He said something today in his introduction post that's on our social media, is like, we want this to be big. We want this to be big as Gadsden City is, right? Like I think class of 2011 had at least 400 graduates, and it's been like 15 years of Gadsden City as of this year. And so I just would like to see in the future of the Alumni Association, one, I want this to last forever. So I know it might sound daunting when we say we want to endow a scholarship at every public institution in Alabama, but that's because we're not planning on going anywhere. And in order for us to not go anywhere, we had to have everybody else come together with us and be like, we don't want you to go anywhere either, right? And so when I say big, I mean, I want to see at least 10% of every class represented every year. And even that amount of a senior class every year is it's actually quite a bit of people. And even if you're not a Gadsden City alum, if you graduated from Litchfield or you graduated from Emma Sampson and you're still tied to the community, we want you here too, right? Like you're still one of us. We're still one Gadsden. And we want to have these partnerships with you because like you are the boots on the ground, right? Like none of us, actually aside from Chelsea and Raven, I believe your family still lives in Gadsden. My mom was an empty nester when I left the house. So my mom was like, I'm gonna go be closer to the rest of our family. And so you have to think about the fact that those types of things remove us from Gadsden. And now we don't have to come back there as it is our home, like our family relocates. Or we don't have the opportunities for the careers that we want to pursue. And so we decide to move to different parts of the state or different parts of the country. And so as the bigger we get, the more the Alumni Association can become a home point and a touch point for people to come back to drive traffic through businesses. I too, like Raven said, I frequented Jefferson's every single opportunity I could. And Jefferson's opened up a spot in Opelika while I was in Auburn, and I frequented it there as well. And so I just really, really want to encourage you guys, no matter what year you graduated, no matter if you graduated before the merger, you're still part of this team. And we want to see you guys help us make this as big as we've always done things.
All right. Here's a big question. They're asking, how do graduates become members of the association and how can they get involved in the work?
So the first thing that people can do, which is the most important thing, is to join our alumni ambassadors. I think when we described it first, we kind of just blankly described it, but there's more to it. So it's more than just hosting events and programming and things like that. In that way, it's similar to Titan ambassadors or Tiger ambassadors as you knew it. But we also have different focus areas on our association. So we have community outreach, social media and media, PR, and then strategy and operations, which includes data, and then our alumni engagement, and then eventually future alumni engagement. And so our alumni ambassadors will also get to help us with those focus areas. So it's a good way to also get involved in other kind of work that you're interested in, depending on your career, even just your interest area. And then from there, as we branch out, we expect that the alumni ambassadors through this program will then be acclimated to the work and be able to branch out with us as well. And then take on some leadership roles as far as event programming and then meeting with stakeholders. And what I mean by that is, in this time, I think we've had like maybe 6 or 7 meetings with people, the principal, the board, and other community organizations. And then from there, all of them have said, we know somebody who wants to talk to you and hear more about this. We know somebody who may want to give and who may want to contribute and get involved, but there are only a few of us. And so the alumni ambassadors then eventually will be the people conducting these types of presentations, going to talk to these stakeholders and building those community relationships with us too. Alumni ambassadors will also be the people who get to start with the TED Talks. And so you'll see that we have a criteria and everything when you send in your resume, if you want to be an alumni ambassador, but we're also looking for people who are very much interested in engaging with those elementary schools and middle schools and all kids and giving those speeches, recording, just all the things that pop up alumni ambassadors, we hope they can use their skill sets to do that. And so that's your first step to getting involved, I think, is to send us your resume and let us know that you want to be an alumni ambassador.
Okay. Let's see. And then there is, I kind of think this one has been touched on a little bit, but maybe we can get more involved with it. Will there be a PTA, PTO, parent teacher involvement in the association?
So as we mentioned before, the Alumni Association works on behalf of students and alumni first. So we are interested in working with community members and organizations and parents if the initiatives are centered on students and alumni. But we definitely need parents for sure. So we have our parent and guardian survey that you can fill out where you can tell us individually what you would like to be involved in and what you think is needed of this association, everything for your students, if you have students in Gadsden City. And then if you are a parent in the community at any of the other schools, or you are a former Titan parent, we absolutely welcome any conversations with y'all. We want you to reach out to us for any service opportunities or anything like that, ways that you would like to partner, because we don't have kids who are in Gadsden City, with the exception of Dre Kirkpatrick, who's not here. So help us help you for sure. And especially when we start getting involved with the elementary and the middle schools, considering how strong the PTA, PTO presence is there, for sure, we're interested in working with parents.
Okay, I actually think that was the end of our questions. We do have a comment for someone wanting to get involved. It looks like Pierre. Hey, Pierre. Wanting to possibly help fund a scholarship for books and everything. So just email the Alumni Association at GCHSAlumni06@gmail.com and set up a meeting.
Shout out to class of 2011.
Yes, go class of 2011. But yeah, definitely. I think that's the end of the questions, though.
Does anybody from the audience have any more questions before we log off today? Okay, awesome. Well, thank you all so much for attending. We really appreciate you. Of course, this video is going to be posted up on Facebook and on YouTube, so you'll be able to share it. Please, even for people who weren't able to join, send these links to people still, your registration link, because they'll be able to watch this video on demand after. And we do want everybody to have the information necessary, or at least know where they can contact us and donate. So thank you. We'll stay on for the next few minutes, but everybody else, feel free to log off and have a great night and be safe out there.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.